All right, welcome back to the Cyberspace Virtual Reality YouTube channel. 1 second plug, subscribe if you want, that'd be cool. If not, maybe next time. But thanks for coming here, we really appreciate your time. We got some cool content coming out for you today, and we hope you like it.
So, over the course of VR kind of becoming a little bit more mainstream, lots of small companies have come out with VR headsets. And most of the time, I just kind of disregard them. Most of the time, they're just like, oh, it's another version of the HTC Vive. It's got a higher resolution or whatever. And it's usually for some weird commercial application. But this headset's a little different. And so we decided that it's really important to talk about this.
Yeah, definitely. Just to kind of piggyback off of what he said, there's the big boys out there. You got Oculus, you got your Valve, you got your HTC, Samsung's been in the game pretty well. Those are the big boys, and whenever a headset comes out from one of those companies, heads turn, people listen, and they're interested, and they do really well. But like as you said, there's a lot of companies that are trying to find some market share, that are trying to squeeze their way into the VR industry, and I think for a lot of them, it's kind of been a flop.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
because what happens, just kind of, this thought just came to my mind, is they come and they just basically replicate something that's already there.
Right.
They don't come out with anything new and innovative. And
Right.
that's why this headset, if it's real, which we'll talk about a little bit, is going to be different because it's coming out and it's doing things that nobody's done before. It's not like just a cheap knockoff version of the Vive or something.
Yeah, so if you haven't looked at the title of the video, we're talking about the DecaGear Steam VR headset, and it's this headset right here. It's pretty sweet looking, actually. I like that they're kind of going for the eye goggle aspect of things.
It looks like a Star Wars
like
helmet for a stormtrooper or something.
Less like a headset, more like a set of goggles, and I can appreciate that.
I think that's cool. Right there is already kind of finding its way into the market by doing something different. I think that's the first thing. It's just its appearance is already breaking the mold.
Right. So VR headsets fall into two categories for me. There's like the really high end stuff, and that's usually $600 to like $1,000 with the whatever. And then there's like low end, but still pretty amazing. Like the Quest 2 is only $300.
Yeah.
And then this headset actually falls even pretty close to that. It's $459.
Yeah, so it's kind of like right in the middle. So I think it's trying to build its market around that middle ground, so being high quality but like affordable, something that could enter into the homes of a lot of Americans can afford things like that. A lot of people over the world can afford that.
Yep.
So.
This headset, it doesn't seem legitimate, right?
It seems too good to be true, almost.
It looks like a rendering. It's like they're throwing out specs that I'm like, how can they afford to put this in there?
Too good to be true because it's the specs and the quality and the innovation is too much for anything that should be that price.
We'll see how it is when it comes out. This is like a headset that I'm seriously debating like investing in. Maybe we'll see where we're at that point, and if we have the means or we need a headset at the time. But yeah, it's really interesting. So let's talk about resolution first. That's okay.
Yeah.
This is 2160 by 2160 per eye. So I'm not sure if it's two screens or one. Preferably it has two. They haven't talked about field of view, so usually that determines it. If it's anything more than 100 degrees field of view, then it's going to be two screens separated.
Okay.
But yeah, we don't know yet. So
TBD on that one. TBD.
Yep. The other thing that's interesting about this headset is it's Steam supported. So something that Valve has been doing is they actually go in and they say, okay, let me help you with the software, and they'll have basically tech support because I think they want a lot more people playing VR. I think it's
with Steam, they'll go in and help Steam. Is that what you're saying?
Steam, like Valve.
Uh-huh.
They'll go to these small headset manufacturers and help them so that they have good integration and good tech support, so that they're supported.
That's awesome,
right?
Because that's a huge barrier to entry.
Yep.
If they just can't make it work, they don't have the means. Cool.
So yeah, so that's why this headset is like, it's like a Valve's like it's a Steam headset, right? But it's not by them. They just helped the manufacturer. This manufacturer really came out of nowhere, so I really like that Valve offers that to manufacturers, because otherwise we just have this huge influx of headsets that don't really work, and I don't want people to be playing on headsets that don't work, because then they just have a bad experience.
It's just even more of like a monopoly on the ones that do, right? Like,
yep.
Like you would never even try and experiment with a headset like this if you know that only Valve products are actually going to work, or Oculus or whatever. So that's cool. That's cool.
Yep. something that's kind of independent with this headset and new and really awesome is the so it's got inside-out tracking, right? So you don't have base stations, but also it's got like facial tracking.
Yeah, okay. This is one of the big innovative things that this headset is just staking its claim with. Like, hey, we're here to play in this VR industry. It's really cool. We've watched, there's some videos that you can see on the internet about it, but basically, like, there's this chick and she's like in VR and we're just looking at her, not her actual body, and she's talking. You can see her lips moving, her mouth is moving as to what she's saying. It's tracking her face, her eyes. Impressive, very impressive and new.
Right.
I'm not going to say that it was like mind-blowing
Right.
yet, but it's getting there.
I think it's the step in the right direction that headsets should be expected to be doing this soon, right? Like, I would suggest that next year Valve is going to release their own headset, and if it doesn't have face tracking, I will be embarrassed for them, right? Like, the Valve Index when it came out was crazy innovative, right?
Yeah.
Crazy amounts of field of view, crazy refresh rate, great controllers that we'd never seen before, but now it's kind of falling behind. It's kind of like yesterday's news. I know a lot of people they're really loyal to their Index because it's a really awesome headset, but you have to have like a computer worth $3,000 to really utilize that refresh rate. You need a dedicated VR space for it, and then you have to, you're buying games and it needs a cable. I guess you can do it wirelessly with some add-ons, but anyway, it's a really big investment. So a lot of people are really committed. They love that headset.
I would be too. If I invested in that, I would 100% be super.
Yeah, if you spent $1,000 on a headset, it better be good, and
and it is.
Yeah, it is. It's great, but I think Valve, it's getting to be about time for them to release their new version of their headset, updated a little bit. I don't think they should increase the price because it's kind of as high as it gets anyway.
Yeah. So this is going to be a perfect time for Valve to start jumping on things like this.
Yep.
But anyway, so back to the DecaGear. What else you got for us? What other things?
Okay, so another thing, I'm going to be comparing this to the Valve Index a lot, but another thing that they did, the Valve Index, was they had those touch-sensitive, pressure-sensitive controllers.
Right.
So you could like use your whole hand. They're big and clunky, but they worked and it was amazing. The DecaGear also has a version of that. The controllers are a little smaller, but they have that functionality.
Yeah.
So, awesome.
Cool. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, those controllers are sweet. So, and that's a big thing with headsets is that's a big thing that, here's what I'll say, is that separates the great VR headsets and equipment from the lesser ones is the controllers. If it's just a crappy, clunky controller, it definitely defeats a lot of the fun. So.
Yeah, so for example, the Quest 2 controllers, like I love the Quest 2, but the controllers, every time I grab them, I'm like, man, these could be better.
Yeah.
And I was a little disappointed, but maybe with some
$300,
add-ons.
I don't know, like that's just kind of what you get.
So,
I guess,
but for $450-ish, so we'll just, I think it's $460, sorry. That to have that controller capability, amazing. I think it's really impressive.
Totally.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's got 90 hertz refresh rate, so that's pretty much the market standard. If you're going to be utilizing any higher than that, you have to have some really, really specialized gaming equipment, right? Like, this is a high-end setup that you're going to be having. So I would... 90 hertz is great.
That's what you need.
You're not going to use anything.
That's the
more than that,
standard,
really.
So most people can't even utilize it. So.
Yep.
Anyways, is there anything else we really want to cover on this headset?
It comes out in March next year.
Or is it May? I think it's May.
May, yeah.
May 2021 is what they're saying. There are some rumors. People are like, is this real? Because it says it's 4K. Did we talk about it being 4K? Like, is that kind of to do with it?
Yeah, it's 4K. It's 2160 by 2160 per eye.
Which is amazing.
That's insane.
Like, HP Reverb is about, is right now leading the market in that, I think, and it's about the same. It's around there. And nothing really compares.
Yeah, I mean, that is crazy.
Yeah, it's basically like coming out and saying, hey, we've got technology that nobody else has, the face tracking. We've got 4K, which very few people have.
Yep. We've
got controllers that only that are comparable to the best on the market. So it's just crazy that they're coming out with all these really big claims and saying, hey, we'll see you in May. Like, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if we'll see you in May. I hope we do, because that would be sweet. $450 for that? Super good deal.
Last thing, cherry on top. This thing can run wirelessly out of the box.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. I don't think you have to add. I mean, they're a little unclear, and I think as it gets closer, they'll be more
They'll
upfront.
get more details.
But it looks like it has a 6-hour battery life.
Okay.
Which is crazy to me.
Wow.
It's running it has a processor in it and everything, so I'm pretty sure it can't run by itself. You still need a computer, but it can run wirelessly.
Dang. That gives it the versatility to be mobile or hooked up to. That's awesome.
From what I can tell, it's not. I don't know. They haven't really stated if it's out of the box, but it looks like it's got crazy amounts of It's just got all the bells and whistles.
Dang. Well, that's awesome. That's super exciting. It's stuff like this that gets us excited for the virtual reality industry. Like, there's some cool stuff coming out, especially if like a company that people aren't familiar with from Singapore is able to produce something so awesome and it doesn't flop. I mean, this is great for the virtual reality industry. It's just heading in a cool direction right now. If you're worried that VR is dead, don't worry, because things are coming out. It's progressing. It's heading in a good direction.
Yep.
So,
yeah, we're gonna keep paying attention to what's coming out, and we'll keep you guys posted on how this headset progresses. We'll let you know if it's doing well, if people that get it really like it, or if they hate it, if it's garbage. We'll keep you updated on that. There's a whole lot more VR news to discuss, so I'm excited.
Anyways, Cyberspace VR, thanks for coming. Appreciate you being here. Subscribe. We would super love to have you on the channel. And give us a like. What do you think about this? Comment. We'd love to have a discussion below about, do you think this is real? Do you think it's fake?
Yep.
Why do you think so? Do you have more information? Let us know. Send us a link.
Yeah, we'd love to hear it. But anyway, that's our video. We'll see you next time. Cool.